We turn now to new inflation numbers. They've just been released, and it shows it rose by more than expected.
It is stubbornly high, and especially when you're looking at a lot of those everyday expenses for people.
Inflation is once again on the rise. If inflation continues to rise, how might that affect the U.S. economy?
Inflation.
The annual inflation rate
showed a sharp slowdown in economic growth and also pointed to persistent inflation.
There was a lot to be worried about in terms of inflation, but we have no clue, no idea how much higher it is.
When I said that inflation would be transitory, what I was not anticipating was a scenario in which we would end up contending with multiple variants.
We understand the hardship that high inflation is causing, and we remain strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal. I really do not expect that we'll be in a situation where inflation rises to troubling levels.
Is there a risk of inflation? I think there's a small risk, and I think it's manageable. As Chair Powell indicated himself, both of us probably could have used a better term than transitory.
The report shows U.S. inflation picked up in August. The Consumer Price Index shows prices climbed 3.7% compared to a year ago, more than expected.
Inflation comes down after unemployment goes up. So we're not going to see inflation come down until we get an uptick in unemployment.
Though unemployment rose to a 2-year high.
Do you rejoice with the markets over today's jobs report?
Look, I think it's a very good number for today. It's just one number. One number is a point. If we get a second number, we'll have a line. If we get three numbers, we'll get a trend. So we need to get three numbers in the right direction to get a trend. And also, these numbers are not science. They're art form.
Fears that the Federal Reserve may keep rates higher for longer have weighed on stocks this week, and as a result, tomorrow's jobs report will be closely watched by investors.
I mean, if you look out to the end of the year, the market's still pricing in really just a 50-50 chance we even get the 3 cuts that the Fed currently has projected. So the fight against inflation certainly isn't over. I mean, you see some of that in the jobs report or the expectations as well. Wouldn't be surprised to see unemployment tick up a little bit above 4% before the Fed's job is done.